Alright, so okay, if you know me personally, I've been obsessing with live action anime for the past few, months. Mainly with Rurouni Kenshin. And the Anime Man did a tier list video with, rating, live action anime. And I've actually seen most of the movies that are on this list, so I'm going to, do my... So, while he's doing his tier list, I'm going to give my thoughts or something. I don't know anymore. So, yeah, enjoy! There's probably going to be 2 parts to this, though. Okay, so I've already seen parts of this video.
Everyone?
That's loud.
This is the Anime Man.
I've already seen parts of this video, so I'm just gonna because there are some movies I haven't seen, and then some movies I haven't seen most, if not some of these movies. So I'm just gonna be skipping ahead to the ones I have seen, and then talk about or then do whatever the hell I'm gonna do. There might be 2 parts to this. I don't know yet.
Someone has already made them before. Yes, that's right. I have run out of originality with my tier lists, so I had to think to myself, I need to make the one... I'm going to throw it up in the B. A strong start, but let's head on over to the Hollywood side of things with Alita Battle Angel. Yes, this is actually based off a manga series of the same.
I actually watched this
90s. For some reason,
maybe
Hollywood was finna turn that
once.
No one has
And then I a lot of people, I completely forgot about the movie. And then when Nostalgia Critic made a video about it, I remembered that it was a thing and that it was a live action anime and not just its own movie.
What did they do to her? Why are her eyes so massive? This is rule number 1 for live action anime adaptations. Don't make the characters look like they're using the anime filter on Instagram. That's rule number 1.
I mean, yeah, that was the one thing that bothered me because
for some reason they only use this filter on Alita, but no other character.
Yeah.
The professor looks fine. All the villains look.
Because there are other people who are robots in this movie, and they all have regular eyes, but she's the only one that has
cyborg android, how you call it in this movie.
Eyes.
My God, I just couldn't get over the massiveness of her eyes and her whole facial features in general. It looked like I was staring into a human that had been morphed from an insect. And yeah, because they don't
That's called Kamen Rider.
the entirety of the Alita Battle Angel story, especially when you're following it with the manga, the movie just kind of ends really abruptly and just really just gives you the biggest blue balls of your life.
Yeah.
But I will give points to the movie for Christoph Waltz's performance, because he is an incredible actor. I love everything that he is in, and I mean,
yeah, he was a good actor.
Made this movie just
I've also been thinking about making my own tier list about this, because there are some anime movies that aren't on this that I have seen and that I personally like.
Especially if you do like your sci-fi. This movie was just kind of a sore.
I'll probably cut it into 2 parts, somewhere around where he gets to Full Metal, or if he goes back to it. Damn it.
Choreography was pretty good, and the acting was pretty good, but again, everything else they kind of just, it's almost like they're making fun of the original source material in a way, which kind of rubbed me off. Alright, up next we have Attack on Titan.
Oh my God, don't watch that. No, if you're into Elseworlds or what if stuff, watch it, because they changed 90% from they changed 90% of the original story. It's good, in my opinion. It's like an alternate version of Attack on Titan, but there are some certain parts where what in the absolute hell is this? And when you hear the Colossal Titan, I think that is what he is called. It sounds and the roar comes out. It literally sounds like a child got a hold of a megaphone, and the first thing they thought of doing was, ah. And there's this one certain scene that, and there's he's about to talk about the Titan baby, but there's just one certain scene that's stuck in my head. I don't want to say it because it's a spoiler / it's kind of inappropriate. More than, even though you see people get ripped to shreds and whatnot in this movie, but still. I don't know anymore.
Oh God, this one's a doozy. Again, there are 2 movies, I think, or 3 live action movies. I forgot how. There's more than one, basically, and I've seen all of.
I mainly watched this because the actor of Kamen Rider O's was in it, and I found out that he was in it when I started Kamen Rider, and O's was all I could think of and talk about.
I actually got the chance to go and watch this first movie as a premiere when I was still living in Australia. I got sent by the folks over at Madhouse.
Right around here is when I stopped watching it, because then I got the idea to make like this video and then like maybe a Rider Sentai episode.
And yeah, what a fucking mess this movie is. For starters, let's just throw the story completely out the window. Even though Isayama Hajime made an absolutely brilliant story with amazing amounts of politics, amazing amounts of action, amazing amounts of character-driven revenge and anger that just radiates from the pages of the original manga to this like almost like sob story spin-off that is not even a spin-off. It's not even like a spiritual successor, because they just added a bunch of shit in this movie that is not present in the original. Like, for starters, Levi, who is arguably one of the most popular characters in the Attack on Titan fanbase, is just like not there. Now, I'm pretty sure I made a whole video about it back in the day.
No, Levi is there. It's just like he's just like the opposite of himself, like. And they don't even say Levi. They say his like last name, because like the director said they'll probably he's about to say it, but the director said they'll have trouble saying Levi. But in the anime, they're good saying Levi. I don't know.
When this movie came out, as to the stupid reason as to why they didn't include Levi in this movie, TLDR, they didn't include Levi in the live-action Attack on Titan movie because the director thought that it would be too difficult for the Japanese actors to pronounce his name.
Even though the voice actors say his name.
Let's just forget about the fact that, first of all, Attack on Titan is written by a Japanese guy. Second of all, none of the fucking voice actors in the anime had a difficult time of saying Levi. And if they're using the argument of Levi is a German name and the German names don't fit all too well, then can you please explain the fact that you left Eren Yeager, which possibly could be one of the most German names for an anime character of all time.
I mean, probably seeing how it's Eren, but so with an E.
When the fucking Titan baby
that fucked me up. Because like 2 things could have happened. One thing could have happened because Titans don't have genitals, so they can't reproduce. So one main thing could have happened. One fucked up scientist could have had done an experiment on a baby and succeeded and accidentally made a Titan baby.
Fucked up? Like, that makes any fucking sense. Like, there's literally a scene I remember where Hanji explains the fact that the Titans don't reproduce because they don't have any reproductive organs. That's the mystery as to where they come from. Meanwhile, a fucking Titan baby shows up fresh out of whatever crib it crawled out of. And yeah, just compared to the...
That shit was terrifying.
The acting was lame. The action was also lame.
I mean, the acting was okay.
God-awful. I just felt no tension in this movie.
Yeah, the Titans were not that good. Especially when like it got to Eren's Titans. It just...
You're just left with a pile of crap. So yeah, I deadass am going to give this an F tier, just because this is, I feel, one of the fantastic examples of how not to do a live action adaptation. Even though the scenery looked cool, the costumes looked really dope, and the casting was somewhat decent. They didn't like over animify. They basically didn't put their actors in cosplay like other live action movies we'll be talking about in this video. But just, man, talk about a failed attempt at...
I'm probably gonna stop like to make 2 parts like around when he gets to like Gintama or Full Metal, maybe.
Turning a fantastic manga and anime series, a modern classic, if you will, into just...
I'm gonna skip the Fist of the North Star. I think that's it, because I haven't seen that.
Thriller horror shows imaginable. Alright, but up next we have Blade of the Immortal.
I actually love that live action movie.
I'm gonna throw this up in an S tier. If Attack on Titan was how not to do a live action adaptation, Blade of the Immortal is how to do a live action adaptation.
Exactly. Because I highly recommend to watch it.
live action adaptation, which unfortunately, because of how little the original source material is known just in the modern anime community, just completely got overshadowed, I feel. Like, yes, I have met people who have consumed the original Blade of the Immortal, and if you are one of those people, hey, fist bump to you, my boy. But man, this live action adaptation is just so goddamn.
This movie actually got me into the manga, because, like, I would always see Blade of the Immortal every time I went to Barnes & Noble with Emerson and Pridgam or Anno that one time, I think. I forget if that was her or not. Well, yeah, that was her. And it was always there, and I never, like, bothered looking at it or touching it or like, reading or skimming it. But when I saw the movie, I almost bought the volume, but it's not like, but it's too far ahead than, like, the movie. I have to, like, it's like, I'm guessing around the beginning.
Good. It's not over-exaggerating. The acting is fantastic. The choreography is fantastic. And again, it's because it's built off of just a really solid original source material. Like, it's just absolutely brilliant. And again, you have Japanese actors in a Japanese feudal setting. And really, already that combination together, you can ask anybody, that combination together is already hard to fuck up. So if you're going to take anything out of this video, take the fact...
Also, they had the actor of Gentaro from Forza, and it was weird seeing him be the villain. Because usually you see him be, like, the good guy, or like some type of hero, and it was weird seeing him as a villain in this. And I actually kind of liked it, because it was actually kind of cool, because it's something I didn't expect would happen.
That Blade of the Immortal live action is a really good live action. Alright, up next we have Bleach.
This was actually This was like either the second or third live action anime movie I like ever watched. Fourth well, absolutely loved it. And then like I rewatched it after watching Kamen Rider Forza because it has of course the actor of Forza, the actor of Meteor, and the actress of Novesco. Also, I'm a really big ass fan of Bleach, and I would absolutely love if they made a sequel. Because like after this would be the Soul Society.
This is one that I actually just watched about a week ago as I've been recording this video, and is really the inspiration as to me making this tier maker video in the first place. Because I remember when they first announced the fact that they were making a Bleach live action, my hand went through my forehead so goddamn fast. Because there's no way they can adapt this into a live action when they could barely adapt it into an anime. I mean, fuck, the anime got cancelled because of how shit the Aizen arc was. But luckily, this movie doesn't go into the Aizen arc. In fact, it doesn't even go into the Soul
Society. I thought it ended because it just got cut.
It basically ends when Dukiya gets captured by Byakuya and Denji to go back to the Soul Society because of the fact that she lost her Zanpakuto to Ichigo. If you know nothing about Bleach, then that probably just sounded like a bunch of jargon, but basically it covers like the first arc, the first very, very short arc of when Ichigo, our main character, discovers that he has these abilities to fight these demons. Now listen, just right off the bat, I'm gonna give Bleach like a solid B tier. And
yes! I thought I was gonna put it like lower, but like B seems about right. Cause like, I feel like if you asked me a few years ago, like what would be your top tier live action anime movie, it would probably be Bleach would be on top. But now that I've seen more, yeah, it seems like around. In my opinion, it would be like at an A or a B for live action Bleach.
And hear me out. For one thing, yes, a lot of the characters, if not most of the characters, are in cosplay. The actor of Ichigo has obviously the Ichigo hair, which is...
Oh, apparently he dyed his hair. Because usually you would have to wear wigs, but he actually dyed his hair, which is actually kind of cool. I don't know why.
Just not natural to any Japanese person. And you have characters like Abarai Denji, who is just fully dressed up in all of his like wacky clothes.
I think that's actually a wig.
Kuchiki Byakuya, who is actually played by Miyavi, who I think was honestly probably the most perfect casting choice to play as Kuchiki Byakuya.
Yes.
I don't think anyone other than Miyavi could play as Kuchiki Byakuya.
No, this is probably like weird and like not even remotely close to what I'm talking about. But are those tattoos like old or recent? Because like if they're old, did they like cover them up with like skin makeup, so they can add, because Renji has like tattoos on his forehead and then like they go like all the way down his neck to his chest. So I feel like they like covered it and like put because I feel like they would like cover those tattoos at first and then like put like Renji's tattoo marks and whatnot. Because I've seen those do them before in like TV shows and movies.
And he actually looked really, really fucking cool.
Oh,
but I guess
shit, I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Oh. No, because you just went to Renji and then went to that dude and I wasn't paying attention to that. I'm sorry.
one weird casting choice in my head was Rukia. I mean, the actress who plays Rukia looks like Rukia, has the same body proportions as Rukia, but just like kind of looked a little underdressed, especially when looking at Denji and fucking Byakuya. Also, I wanted to see some more Bankais, goddammit, and
Same.
we only got to see one Bankai, which was Denji's Zabimaru, which to be fair is a really cool Bankai, but I mean, goddamn, I want to see some more Bankais, goddammit.
I want to
The
see
action
Ichigo's.
was pretty okay. The CGI not as bad as I've seen in other live action.
The CGI was really good, especially when they got to like the big green dude. I forget, it was like the thing that is the main reason why Ichigo's mom is dead. I forget what it's called though.
Action anime. Overall, like, I feel Bleach was like the most like 5 out of 10 experience I've ever felt from a live action. I'm only putting it on a B tier and not a C tier because at least it ended kind of nicely. It ended at the point when Rukia basically sacrifices herself to basically get herself captured by Byakuya and Denji to go back to the Soul Society. At least it kind of rounded off nicely. And I feel they had to do that because I believe the original intent for the Bleach live action was there was actually going to be a second Bleach live action that covers the Soul Society arc. I don't know, maybe the production ceased because the movie didn't do so hot. I have no freaking idea. Either way, as of right now, we only have this one Bleach live action, and to be fair, it's not too bad. I mean, if you're a hardcore fan of Bleach, you might look at this thing as just a piece of blasphemy. But if you just kind of like the aesthetic of Bleach and you can get over the subpar acting and the subpar CGI and the cosplay-esque look that everybody has, then you know what? It's actually not too bad. I can't be too harsh on it. Alright, up next we have
I made the very stupid decision of watching this movie and then Death Note, and God did it, I hate this movie now. I love the Japanese original because like Japan made Death Note, like 4 to 5 Death Note Japanese Death Note movies, and I guess if you want to count the drama, they're all significant. Hell, the drama is weird and confusing as fuck, but it's way better than this, and I love the movies. I love the live action Japanese Death Note movies. It's significantly better than this in every way, shape, or form.
The Death Note Netflix adaptation. Now, I'm not going to go too far into this because I've made an entire video of it in the past, so if you'd like to...
I mean, I've seen someone who said that they thought it was because they're like me and they also like Elseworlds and What If type of situations where like it's like this character but in a different setting, and like that's the only positive that they could see with Death Note, with this Death Note. And I'm like, I guess I could have agreed with them that like because they put that idea in my head and like they made me kind of like the live action Death Note Netflix adaptation, but like still it's bad. I would not recommend watching this. I would recommend watching the Japanese live action Death Notes.
My in-depth review of that, please go check that video. I'll link it in the description. I'm pretty much gonna put it in like a D tier, but not in the same way that I would use to describe Alita. Because the Death Note Netflix adaptation is so far from its original source material that it's almost just another movie entirely. And even when you look at it independently from the Death Note series, it's still just like really dumb. So yeah, not much more I can say about that. Go watch my video if you want to see an in-depth analysis. And then up next we have Dragon Ball Evolution.
This was the first or second live action, and well, I mean you can debate if Avatar is an anime, but for the sake of argument, I'm saying this is my first ever time. This was the first ever movie I ever watched that was a live action anime, and this was like before I was like heavily into Dragon Ball. I was so stupid. I actually thought this movie was good, and then I started binging all of Dragon Ball, and I immediately regretted my decision because that movie was ass.
Evolution, yes, the cream of the crop, the king of the hill when it comes to bad live action adaptations. I mean, look, I've talked about this on the Trash Taste podcast. This is one of the few times that I have ever walked out of a cinema, and I kind of regret doing that because much later on, I went and actually gave it a go. I decided, hey, you know what? I walked out of this because it was so shit. I mean, to be fair, I don't know what I was expecting. It was so shit. You know what? I'm gonna give it a go and actually try and sit through it all. And yeah. It's painful. It's really painful, especially coming from a Dragon Ball fan. I almost don't want to include this as a Dragon Ball adaptation, but I mean, it's really...
Oh, apparently there's like another live action Dragon Ball that's like even worse than this.
The only
but I don't know what it's called. But it's not called Dragon Ball. It's called something else.
The only
I
Dragon
think.
Ball adaptation we're ever gonna get. At least with Death Note, there were a bunch of Japanese live action adaptations, which I haven't included in this list, but they're actually pretty decent, especially the first one. But I mean, yeah, I feel Dragon Ball Evolution is like the room of live action anime. It's just so bad that it's good, but I'm still gonna throw it in an F tier because I can't lie to myself. But if you thought Dragon Ball Evolution was the worst of the worst, then oh no, you might not have known about this next one.
I'm gonna skip Fist of the North Star for right now. I'm gonna do an episode about this or a video about this, like maybe some other time, either when I watch it or I don't watch it, because like I'm skipping part of skipping part of this because I haven't seen some of the movies, and I'm either gonna watch the movie and then make another video or episode of this where I share my opinion with him or something like that, or I just never watched the movie and then I just watched this by myself, or I recorded myself watching this. I don't know yet, so I'm gonna skip. I'm also gonna stop when it gets to like Gintama or Full Metal. I don't know yet. Oh god, what the hell? Because I've seen like a clip of it when he was doing like the whole punching thing, and then like you're already dead and you don't know it, and then like the weird head explosion. No. Oh, too far. Oh, right there.
I am going to slap this in an F tier. This is an absolutely hilarious movie. Fuck Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution is nowhere close to being as bad as Fist of the North Star. Like, this truly, I feel, is the room of live action anime.
Okay.
And I almost want to like make a video of its own about it because it's just so bad. All right, up next we have Full Metal Alchemist.
I thought it was okay, because I watched this either like it was either the live action Full Metal, then live action Bleach, or live action Bleach, then live action Full Metal. Also, yeah, I'm gonna stop like after Gintama because that's when I'm gonna make the part 2.
Full Metal Alchemist live action. So many people think it's Furumetaru Alchemista. No, that meme is lame as fuck, alright? Call it by its actual name, which is Hagane no Renkinjutsu, or Hagaren for short. Now, the Hagaren live action is, it's bad. It's really bad. That's.
I mean, comparing the live action to, like, the anime, they changed some stuff, or they didn't, or, like, they changed it, or they tweaked it. Some were good, in my opinion, and others were bad. And especially like Gluttony's weird ass thing, where like his mouth goes where he opens his mouth all the way to his stomach. Yeah, the CGI could have been way better on that. I will not lie to you.
That's all I can say. The acting sucks. Everybody.
I kind of like the acting wasn't that bad actually, in my opinion.
Is in costume, and again, like I don't know who was.
The costume isn't that bad, dude. I actually want that. I mainly want like his red jacket. That's it.
Responsible for like the costume design in this particular movie, but my god, like fucking Edward just looks like a crackhead. I can't get over how much the wig does not match the actor's face.
Oh, that's right,
the
the wig.
The CGI is lame as fuck. I mean,
there is some good CGI in my opinion. Like Alphonse, like. In my opinion, Alphonse's like metal thing is actually not that bad.
Honestly, this truly was made for like hardcore Full Metal Alchemist fans who and the hardcore fans who will literally eat up any iteration of Full Metal Alchemist. So yeah, again, I'm gonna throw this in the F tier.
I would have put in like C or D. Like yeah, like around. I would put it in C. I would have put it in C. In my opinion.
Really bad. All right, up next we have Ghost in the Shell, Kokaku Kidoutai, or I guess just Ghost.
I actually watched this like when I was freakishly young, like around the same time that it came out. It's like trailers were playing over and over and over and over and over again, and I watched like parts of it, and then like very later on, my brothers told me it was based off an anime, and the anime is significantly better than this movie.
In the Shore, since the live action Hollywood.
That's why.
Of it, which I made a couple of videos on back in the day. Now listen, if there's one massive difference between a Japanese production of live-action anime and a Western Hollywood production of live-action anime, it's that Japanese productions, most of the time, not all the time obviously, most of the time tend to fuck up on the aesthetics, but nail the narrative. And the Western side, most of the time, tend to fuck up on the narrative, but nail the aesthetics. And I feel the Ghost in the Shell Hollywood live-action adaptation is definitely a great example of a movie that nailed the aesthetic, but absolutely fucked up the narrative. I mean, you look at any scene in this movie, and it looks gorgeous. I mean, they put so much time and effort into really bringing the Ghost in the Shell world to life in a realistic looking way. And I mean, my god, the fucking like the geishas, like the robotic geishas that pop out, which by the way I believe is a movie original. I don't think those were around in the original manga or anime, but they still look fucking great. They're an absolutely brilliant choice to put into it. And I mean, the fight with the invisible guy in the top of the water, that choreography scene was so fucking dope. And again, it fit perfectly with how that played out in the original manga and anime as well. But of course, I'm giving all these praises to this movie. Let's not forget about the glaring problem that this movie had, which is, as a lot of people pointed out when the movie first came out, is the whole whitewashing problem. Yes, I know.
I mean, he likes the movie. I have mixed feelings about it. Granted, it's been a few years since I've seen it, and like it's been I think I watched like Ghost in the Shell, like beginning quarantine, and I don't remember that much of it. So he's saying like all this positive thing. I think I said like a bunch of negative things. I have very bad memory, but like I'll rewatch both movies probably soon, because like I haven't watched like Ghost of the Shell live action since like fucking whenever it came out, since like a little bit after it came out, and I haven't watched that movie, the anime, since quarantine. But still, there are some parts that were enjoyable, and then I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen both movies.
Scarlett Johansson is not a Japanese lady. Her acting is also not that very good, according to some people. And the only Japanese guy who was in this movie, aka Kitano Takeshi, didn't even speak English because he wasn't bothered to remember the English lines. And of course there's the twist right at the end, which I obviously won't get into because spoilers. But yeah, that completely also fucked up the narrative, especially because of the casting choice of Scarlett Johansson to play as Kusanagi Motoko. That just, it caused way too many problems in the meta of the movie, or I guess the concept of this movie, much more than the actual movie itself. Like, I honest to God think that as a Ghost in the Shell live action adaptation, this one pretty much sucks. But I think if you just look at this as just a standalone sci-fi film that was heavily inspired from Ghost in the Shell, if you just for 1 second forget that this is actually based off Ghost in the Shell and just watch it as a standalone movie, I don't think it's actually too bad. Like, yeah, it's not fucking S-tier material, but, you know, compared to some other sci-fi shows that I've seen out there, this one is actually pretty decent, and I feel it really strongly holds itself in the visual department. So I'm probably going to give this movie a C. I would enjoyed watching it. Like, this is a great movie to watch. If you turn the sound off, like, if you didn't listen to the dialogue and how much they fuck up the narrative, because visually speaking, it is top-notch. It's probably the most visually pleasing live-action film in this.
Never watch it in public.
But yeah, obviously the whitewashing problem, the acting problem, the narrative problem, yeah, that definitely set it a couple of points back. Alright, up next.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. So this is the end of episode 1/part 1. So bye.